now it is that we got the chance to talk about everything. Let's jump into the next damn reaction, shall we? So shout outs to Patrick CC. Dropped another banger on us. And I cannot believe it is. We're gonna be doing another video on Nicki Minaj. Yay! Not to say it is the like I don't like Nicki Minaj. I feel like it is a lyrically, she can be a lot more of a legend, but it's her fan base it is that I don't like. The Barbs is delusional, big heavy level of delusion. But the sad decay of a rap legend, Nicki Minaj's downfall. So without further ado, let's get into this next video, y'all. Let's do it.
There is no debate. Nicki Minaj is a living legend in rap. She has over 100 million records sold, 23 top 10 Billboard Hot 100 singles, 3 #1 singles, 3 #1 albums, 148 Billboard Hot 1 entries, making her the #5 of all time, 9 American Music Awards, 12 BET Awards, 8 MTV Video Music Awards, 4 Billboard Music Awards, 4 People's Choice Awards, 10 Grammy nominations. Do I really
But not a Grammy. Didn't go home with a Grammy.
I need to keep going because her list of accolades is long. If Nicki Minaj quietly bowed out of the spotlight, we would all hold her in high regard as one of the most dominant and well-respected female artists of all time. But she ruined that. Her continuous self-sabotage, close associations with sexual...
You said, why you gotta do her like that, Ari? Because it's the truth. I'm sorry. As much as it is like, I've always said this, I do not hate Nicki Minaj. I don't. But I think there needs to be a serious level of a conversation of what the level of people it is he'd be associated with. And I'm not even just talking about Mr. Kenneth Petty, somebody it is who's an actual registered sex offender. Brother that was also on the same lining. Apparently it is her publicist is one. She surrounds herself with all of these people it is who are predatory. And this is what makes me look at her a little sideways because you ain't checking it. And I have to look at anything in life where if these is your people and you're not trying to mediate or any form of way when it is they're doing something kind of wrong, I have to look at you a little sideways because how are you allowing that within your space, in your circle as it is? And just say it is that, oh, I'm okay with that. That's a problem. And she tried to justify what happened with Kenneth Petty. Like, oh, that was 15 years ago. So the fuck what? That nigga has to register as a sex offender wherever it is that he's at. I don't understand. Like, you can't just sit there and just lightly brush that off like it's not that serious. It is serious. It is very serious. If she's surrounded by them, then I got to think that she's a part of it. Thank you. That's the reason why I look at her a little weird. I'm like, girl, like, there's so much things that's like, damn, why is she surrounded by those people? She's also very good friends with 6ix9ine, who see, and he can't be near a school whatsoever. I think the reason I look at it like this: when you've been surrounded, you don't know when something is bad on your upbringing until it is that you go and live life. So you are kind of get conditioned to live a certain type, like you get conditioned by your own home training, right? You don't realize the problems it is that the good and the bad things that come from your own household until it is you start dating or you start leaving the nest and living your own life, right? You don't realize those things. For her, I feel like it is she's been always surrounded by this level of energy, and this is why it is it like you tend to flock to things that remind you of home. And you can take that as a good or a bad thing. I think this is what is the case for her.
predators, and patterns of embarrassing behavior has led to even her most diehard fans questioning the rapper's legacy. Once we dive into her history, you will start to wonder if she is trying to destroy her reputation on purpose, because her words and actions will leave any sane person dumbfounded. But the true beginning of Nicki's decay started in 2017, when one rapper exposed
W. Sheether, by the way. It took a New York rapper to go ahead, you know what I'm saying? Even though Nicki is also from New York. But like, this girl, Remy Ma, put that girl to shame with that damn diss record. Love it. Love it.
Exposed her so badly that the tide began shifting against Minaj. For 7 years in a row, 2010 to 2016, Nicki won the BET Award for Best Female Hip Hop Artist. It's almost like she was the only female rapper. Obviously she wasn't, but to hip hop fans it kinda felt like that. Now sure, over the years she had some beef with other female artists, like Lil' Kim, Mariah Carey, Iggy Azalea, and even Miley Cyrus.
The Miley Cyrus one, I still don't understand. I don't understand the like. So now back to this bitch that had a whole bunch of shit to say about me in the press the other day. Miley was good. Do you realize it is that Miley was a young adult when it is that you said that? Gang, you press somebody this is way younger than you? Do you not think it is that I don't know about the beefing with Iggy Azalea. I don't really know too much about that, so I'm not gonna speak on it. But when you coming down to like Lil' Kim and then also Mariah Carey, these are people it is that has been in this industry for decades, gang. And I have to even go as far as giving Lil' Kim her praise because she was so impactful to why it is that female rappers are the way how it is that they are today. Who do you know it is that was head to toe designer the way how this Lil' Kim was? Lil' Kim paved so many different ways for you to even do this and to stay in the level of this industry the way how it is that you are. And you sitting there and like you acting weird towards her, like nah. I'm like, if you really took a deep dive within this, now you got to sit there and ask the question: who, as a female rapper, has Nicki Minaj not beef with? That's kind of a problem, gang. What did Miley say? I don't even know what Miley said to her. I really don't. I'm happy Miley just ignored it and just kept going, kept the show going. You're at an award show, and this is not the time or the place to bring it up. You're acting like a child. That is the problem with Nicki Minaj. Is that she has these levels of I won't say temper tantrums. Well, no, Ice Spice is signed underneath Nicki Minaj. So that's the reason to why, there is nothing like Ice Spice has been kind of like quieted about that. Unfortunately, Ice Spice and Coi Leray disc coming soon. Stop it, because she's already had her issues with Coi Leray. So at this right now, it's like what people think of Nicki Minaj is that she's problematic with so many other like people at this rate. I can't even just say it is the male, no, the female rappers, it's the male rappers too. So that's the problem it is that I have with that, plus aligning of substance abuse that she has admitted to on the Vanity magazine, that she has admitted to the level of substance abuse it is that she's had before.
And now back to this that had a lot to say about me the other day in the press. Miley, what's good?
But none of these feuds had any real negative impact on Nicki's career, especially when you compare them to Remy Ma, who was the first rapper to successfully break down Nicki Minaj. When Remy Ma was incarcerated in 2007, she left behind massive shoes in the female rap scene that Nicki arguably filled. Minaj cemented her name in rap history throughout the next couple of years, being dubbed the Queen of Rap, among other illustrious titles. When Remy was released from prison in 2014, the female rap scene had changed drastically, and she was nowhere near as relevant in the eyes of music listeners. But Remy still gave Minaj her props.
What I can say is that she's a wonderful woman, and she's on the same page with me, like that there's no need to try to tear somebody down. I can say what I said. I let her know that I'm super proud of her.
Despite her being...
That's one thing it is I will say about Remy Ma. Although it is, she done... I think, did she pistol whip her friend over $3,000? I can't remember the exact reasoning to why, but even Remy, before she got locked up, she had songs on her. And I remember like in early high school, singing our heart out to like all of the songs it is that she did. Very impactful. But Remy Ma is going to give you your praise. She's not going to sit there and be like a hater or anything like that. She's gonna keep it 100. And this is why it is that I fuck with her. From somebody that's New York to New York, I fuck with Remy Ma. I really do. She gonna keep that shit 1010. You know what I mean? But the problem that I just don't like about with this is Nicki will go as far as throwing shade, jabs, subliminals, all these different types of things to these female artists. And mind you, she's one of the first I can say she's one of the first female artists to work with a new upcoming artist. I can understand that. Drake kind of does the same thing, and I kind of look at Drake a little bit weird. But Nicki is 40 something, in her mid 40s at this rate. Nicki, in order to cater to a younger audience, you kind of have to be that person and be like, all right, let me take you let me take you in, you know what I'm saying? Let me do a feature with you, you know what I'm saying? And show love and praise like that. You know, I can at least commend Nicki Minaj for doing that, but then she backfires after doing all of this stuff with these upcoming rappers, and then now it's like it looks a little weird. The song Barbie Dreams is the chorus. She's like, I'm just playing. You think that she's playing to do? So do you think she was playing, or do you think she was actually trying to start drama for real? I feel when it comes at this rate, I feel like she starts it. I feel like she starts it at this rate. You know, now some things I can say that I'm like, all right, I can see where she's coming from, but it's for me at this rate now. I don't care what people feel about with Megan Thee Stallion, but if you're gonna first and foremost, there you have to be very classless to go as low as mocking another woman, another black woman getting shot at. Let alone you opping you hitting up and talking to the same ops with Megan's old friend and shit like that. And then you're gonna go ahead and say, "Oh, bullet fragment. She's a bullet frag. This isn't this." You're mocking somebody it is that got shot at this rate, and then talking on somebody's deceased parent that's no longer here, cannot defend herself or defend Megan at this rate. So that's where I'm like, I don't have no sympathy for her. I'm cool on her at this rate. You know, there's some songs that I like, and there's other songs I'm like, you know, but I'm cool on her character. It's just I'm cool on that. You know the song I'm talking about when she's dropping. Oh, you're talking about that satire song. Fuck, I forgot the name of it, but yeah, it's not real.
Cordial,
not
Remy likely felt hungry to take back the Queen of Hip Hop crown. And what's a better way to show that she is a more skilled rapper than Nicki than remixing her songs? She released freestyles to Minaj's Only and Truffle Butter. On Truffle Butter, many suspected she took subliminal shots at Nicki. People keep saying, Rem, you need to drop a record. I'm like, in a minute, let me body his records. Yeah, for the millions, I will kill these pop hoes. Even though it seemed like a feud might be brewing, Remy continued voicing her support for Nicki and vice versa. With Nicki hinting at a potential collaboration in the future. Remy continued releasing music seemingly filled with subliminal disses towards Nicki for 2 years, and eventually Nicki took the bait. On Jason Derulo's single, Swala, Nicki said, I gave these 2 years, now your time's up. Bless her heart, she throwing shots but every line sucks. 2 days later, Nicki was featured on Gucci Mane's Make Love, where she took even more shots aimed at Remy. Oh, you the queen of this here? 1 platinum plaque, album flopped, where? This was clearly aimed at Remy, who consistently called herself the queen of NYC. But Remy comes from a class of hip-hop MCs that don't take disses lightly, so she clapped back at Nicki with a full...
I'm glad it is that Patrick even mentioned this. Like, Remy, if you looked up to what Remy Ma went to jail for, do you really think it is that you talking on disses? This is why I say this is back in the day, and especially within the rap game. Oof. You made a diss, niggas was pulling up to houses. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, Remy comes from a hood to where it is like, all right, like, let's see what's up. You talking all that shit? Now I'm about to pull up on you. I'm about to pull up on you because you think it is on pussy. So what's up? Most New Yorkers have that energy as it is anyway. That's why a lot of people are just like, oh, New Yorkers are so aggressive. This is blase, blase. I can even tell you this. I'm like that. And I grew up in the suburbs. If somebody had a problem with me, I'm pulling up. Like, what the problem is? Tell me, what's going on? What's the issue? Like, come on now. Like, this new level of disses, man, it could never fly back then.
full-fledged cutthroat diss track. Sheether was
Sheether.
Remy's 2017 remix of Nas's diss track on Jay-Z titled Ether, which is widely regarded as one of the most iconic hip-hop diss tracks of all time. Like Nas, Remy delivered a barrage of scathing insults and criticisms aimed at Nicki, attacking everything from her appearance to her credibility as an artist. She claims that Nicki had sex with Lil Wayne, Drake, Trey Songz, Ebro, Gucci Mane. She claims that Nicki's butt implants popped, which led to a downfall in her and Meek Mill's relationship. She also said that Nicki was influencing girls to get BBL surgeries, which have resulted in numerous deaths while under the knife. She claimed that Nicki uses—
Didn't I just say this literally like before? I literally just said getting BBLs is one of the most dangerous plastic surgeries it is you can get. Now, I'm an advocate for plastic surgery, you know what I'm saying? Because even I'm going to do it. But BBLs, like I said, I will easily tell somebody, listen, go to that gym to go get that ass, girl. Go ahead and do that instead of doing this. Because the aftercare and what you have to deal with a BBL just takes so fucking long. And you need a whole team to help you out with that aftercare. And even still then, there can still be complications. Your body can reject the cells, the fat, all of that stuff. And you can get high levels of necrosis. Like, it's bad, y'all. It's bad. All right, you don't need anything, Missy. Listen, you know, I know it is that I don't, but there's a couple things it is. I'm gonna do a little nip and tuck.
ghostwriters and even hard drugs. She also criticized Nicki about her support for her brother, who is a convicted pedophile. At this point in her career, Nicki seemed invincible, and she had never been directly attacked at this magnitude by another female rapper. People patiently awaited to hear Nicki's response, with many thinking it would be one of the greatest diss tracks of all time, but she choked and barely responded. Trying to act unimpressed by the response, Nicki took to Instagram and posted a now deleted screenshot of an article referencing Fat Joe and Remy Ma's album opening week sales, which is the stereotypical response for a more popular rapper to brag about sales numbers while avoiding the serious accusations. She also posted audio of Beyonce referencing her as a rap queen.
I met this girl named Nicki, I guess you could say she was the rap queen.
Remy then appeared on
now with everything that happened with her and Megan. What's up, J Storm? I wonder if Miss Beyonce is like, I'm cool off of Nicki Minaj. Because I know for a fact with Miss Beyonce, Giselle Knowles Carter, is that she do not play around with people bullying another artist, you know? And I don't believe in that. It's the same thing with streaming for me. Like, I'm not gonna ever sit there and like belittle a female streamer within this industry because I already know how it is. And I'm sure it is that Beyonce is probably the same way. Now, of course, is she going to openly say that? No. But Beyonce makes it very known that she not fucking with certain things. Like, listen, the award show, I ain't coming unless it is, you know, it is a guaranteed, oh yeah, we winning that. Not a nomination, we winning, you know? So I wonder at this rate now, is she kind of rocking with, you know what I'm saying? If she really does support Megan, both of them are from Houston. You know what I'm saying? A fellow Houston gal. I wonder if it is she kind of look at Nicki a little sideways for the stuff she was saying about Megan too.
On the Wendy Williams show, where she discussed why she dissed Nicki in the first place. She dressed in all black, implying that her outfit was funeral attire for Nicki. It took Minaj 2 weeks to respond with a record called No Frauds, where she accused Remy of getting plastic surgery, using ghostwriters, and a plethora of the exact same things that Remy accused Nicki of doing. Her response was basically, I know you are, but what am I? Despite Nicki's cult-like fanbase supporting her, the industry essentially declared Remy the winner, as she dethroned Nicki's 7-year run as the best female hip-hop artist at the 2017 BET Awards.
Y'all got fat while we starved. Shots in your pads in your bras. Y'all some liars. It ain't no facts in your song. And yeah, that crown is coming back to the Bronx.
Nicki Minaj hasn't won this award ever since. Those who saw Minaj as the epitome of female rap just witnessed her get embarrassed and disrespected. She failed to address the onslaught of Remy's attacks and just continued to flex her wealth and sales numbers. Many thought because Nicki avoided the allegations, they must be true. But it's possible that this beef was just strictly entertainment and Nicki tucked her tail and took the L because she knew she was the weaker MC. Plus, any attention Nicki gave Remy only made her more relevant. But things got even worse for Nicki. There was a new poppin' female rapper from New York called Cardi B, and she had no intentions on bowing down to Minaj. But first, a quick word from today's sponsor, Underdog Fantasy. Underdog is the easiest way to play fantasy sports. Not just basketball, you can make picks on baseball, football, Underdog. From the moment she stepped into the spotlight, Cardi aligned herself with Lil Kim and Remy Ma, Nicki's biggest enemies. Remy even brought out Cardi at Summer Jam 2017, where Remy's whole performance was dedicated to dissing Nicki Minaj. Therefore, Nicki declared Cardi her enemy. But Cardi was different than Remy. She actually had a chance to dethrone Nicki's spotlight, and maybe even compete with her sales numbers. Cardi had the same appeal as Nicki. She could rap, she had the charisma and humor, she could do pop music, she had the sex appeal, and she was even supporting a similar bob hairstyle. During summer of 2017, Cardi dropped her song Bodak Yellow, which was the hottest record of the summer. All of the spotlight was on Cardi, so Nicki immediately took shots at the rapper. London on the Track released a song titled No Flag, where Nicki is heard rapping, "I heard these labels are trying to make another me. Everything you're getting, little hoe, is because of me." With how successful Nicki's career had been, it's not a stretch to think record labels viewed her as the blueprint to producing the next megastar in female rap. Plus,
So my question is, for Nicki Minaj, who was your blueprint then? Because I promise you, if you cannot say it is that Lil Kim was the literal blueprint and ideology into this level of rap game, then I know you're lying. I know you're lying if you say it is that Lil Kim is not, because she literally paved the way for so many different people. You get what I'm saying? So this level of when new people are coming in, new poppin' rappers is coming in, and she feels this level of jealousy, or like, oh, I have to go ahead and protect the title of the queen because I am the queen. You don't have to do all this extra shit. If she chilled out and she didn't do all the extra theatrics when it came down to that, niggas would really respect her. She would be at that level of being an icon, a legend, all this other shit. But she just ruins it every single time by going ahead and like starting these little beefs and stuff like that with niggas that's not even trying to be beefing with her. Lil Kim and Missy Elliott paved the way. Absolutely.
when you consider that UK rapper Lady Lesher stated that Atlantic Records offered her a €250,000 deal if she made a diss track about Minaj, you start to wonder if Atlantic Records, the same label that signed Cardi B, may have encouraged her to imitate and potentially engage in beef with Nicki, because Cardi seemingly responded to Nicki on stage.
You know this she never f***ing liked me, and all of a sudden she wanna be friends with me, no bitch.
At the time, it wouldn't really make sense for Cardi B to be enemies with Nicki Minaj, but from a business and marketing perspective, I could see a label encouraging this beef to keep fans engaged and boost sales numbers.
You know, kind of something like Monica and Brandy. I feel like that beef was very much pushed by labels as well. And then it got to a point to where Monica and Brandy did a performance, and this girl Monica literally, you know, had to hit her with the one time, and then went right on stage as if like nothing ever happened. So I will say it is that record labels do be pushing a level of beefs with people. Like they antagonize it quite a bit. So I could agree to that. I could agree to that.
In fact, Cardi's Barty Gang and Nicki's Barb's fan bases actively fought each other on social media.
And
The
still
Barbs
do.
even teamed up with the Swifties to excessively stream Taylor's Look What You Made Me Do in an attempt to keep Taylor at #1 on the Billboard
that's
Hot
dick
100.
munching.
But they
Oh my
ultimately
God.
failed as Bodak Yellow
gonna
landed
pay.
at the #1 spot, breaking a record that Nicki could never do by herself. Cardi B became the first female rapper with a #1 solo single since Lauryn Hill's Doo-Wop in 1998. Bodak Yellow stayed at #1 on the Hot 100 for 3 consecutive weeks. At this point, Nicki had never achieved a #1 song. Plus, she was 35 and her prime was seemingly behind her. Cardi's commercial impact could not be denied, and perhaps Nicki wanted to establish a truce. She congratulated Cardi on the massive achievement on Twitter, but that truce only lasted a few weeks, because Nicki's jealousy would eat away at her. In October of 2017, the Migos released a single titled
the infamous
Motorsport, in which they
Motorsport.
requested a feature from Nicki. In Nicki's verse, she said, "If Cardi is the QB, then I'm Nick Lombardi." To explain the reference, an NFL quarterback, like Patrick Mahomes, is typically the star of the team, but Vince Lombardi is one of the greatest NFL coaches of all time. He was an executive of the NFL and the trophy
Here comes vintage right now, bro. Speaking for beef, don't forget to smack your tongue on the stacks of meat flaps from the #1 fast food spot, sponsor of tonight's streams, and Ari's favorite, Arby's. We have the meats. High vintage. High. With that damn
that is
message.
given to the Super Bowl winner is called the Lombardi Trophy. Nicki's essentially saying here, if Cardi's the star of a team, then I'm a legend. I'm the damn trophy that you work your whole life to achieve. However,
What's up,
once
Galaxy?
Nicki found out that Cardi was going to be on the song, she changed the lyric to, if Quavo is the QB, then I'm Nick Lombardi, which doesn't really make sense, nor does it rhyme. Despite this, Cardi insisted that there was no beef between the two.
I just feel like it's really internet made of fans and people. They really want to see that happen because it's really entertaining. To see people beef is entertaining.
But the beef would be confirmed to be true when the two got into a physical altercation a few months later.
New
At
York
Harper's
Fashion Week.
Bazaar's Icons party during New York Fashion Week, multiple videos of the two fighting quickly circulated online, with one even showing Cardi attempting to throw a shoe at Nicki. In one of the videos, Cardi
That's
can
one
be
thing
heard
Cardi
making
is
some
gonna do is
damning
throw a shoe.
threats. Cardi was later seen exiting the venue with a massive bump on her forehead. Nicki said she was embarrassed about the whole situation.
The other night, I was a part of something so mortifying and so humiliating.
Then Cardi responded with,
How you say that I was the wild animal, that I attacked you, that you was mortified, that you was humiliated, playing the victim, but now you're the gangster? You need to pick a side. Do you want to be the victim or do you want to be the gangster? You lie so much you can't even keep up with lies.
Cardi posted her
She got a point. Because she trying to play this whole victim mode being on Queen Radio by saying it is, I was so mortified, y'all. I was so scared, everything like that. But then you want to play gangster. You want to play it as like, oh well, yeah, I'm the Queen Bee. I'm go ahead. I'm pop these bitches. These bitches is my sons, but I ain't they mother for real. Like, pick one side. There's no, like, this is what it is that I mean. It's like you flip flopping. I hate that wishy washy shit. Be about it. Be about that shit. Be about that gangster shit if you're really about it. If you're not about it, then go on about your business, bro. Like, why are you wasting everybody else's time?
her reasoning behind the attack the following day. She accused Nicki of trying to blackball her, intimidate her, and worst of all, speaking ill of her child. Everyone took Cardi's side, since they understood that defending their children is important. However, Nicki vehemently denied that she ever spoke bad about Cardi's daughter. She also called out Cardi's hypocrisy by revealing old Instagram screenshots where Cardi repeatedly attacked a mother whose son died. She also referred to the deceased child as a monkey. Cardi also accused Nicki of trying to interrupt or ruin her financial opportunities, money that would help her feed her family. So Nicki again called out Cardi's hypocrisy.
Now we gonna get into some things because I'm tired of people lying on me. Now you want to talk about stopping bags, but it's two innocent girls in a strip club right now that ain't did nothing but go to the strip club and get money. Now they can't get no money, so who's stopping bags? Cause you got grown ass men showing up to where the they at and where they work at. They can't feed their kids, they can't feed their family. You mad at a woman for what a man is doing. And that's the problem with so many black women and women, period. Oh, because she's not black. Because she refers to you black women. Oh, we got the receipts for that too. FYI, she refers to black women as monkeys and roaches. Roaches!
Cardi never responded to this directly. She was done with the back and forth and made a declaration that Nicki did not want.
I mean, Nicki did go ahead and set up, you know, for those two girls to be effed up because apparently it is Offset was cheating with those two women. And then, of course, you know, went to court, got a whole sentencing for it, everything like that. Blase, blase. One thing I have to sit there and say it is she was correct about that. And she has been correct about her. Cardi B has said quite a few things before within those lines. Yes,
Want to
she's
accept.
not wrong.
We could settle it however you want to settle it. We could talk about it or we could fight it out. I'm with whatever.
Regardless of who you think was right in this situation, it was evident that female rappers had no intentions on bowing
that's
down and
Hollywood for
declaring
you.
Nicki as the queen of rap. Her dominance over the culture was fading. Cardi was just the first of many emerging female artists that we see dominating hip-hop today, and it seemed like Nicki was slowly losing her mind, seemingly grasping at straws to keep the public on her side. But the more she got on social media to rant, the worse it got for her.
Yep.
On August 10th, 2018, Nicki released her 4th studio album, Queen. Led by singles like Chun-Li and Barbie Dreams, the album received
It's called Barbie Dreams. That's the song that you was talking about, Justin.
positive reviews from critics. Queen debuted at number 2 on the Billboard Hot 200 after selling 185,000 units first week. Now, this was Nicki's worst album performance, but number 2 is still considered a wildly successful debut. She just released at a competitive time. Travis Scott's Astroworld dropped the week before, which was the single most anticipated album of 2018. And he delivered as it was a great project. Astroworld remained at number 1 for a second week in a row with 205,000 sales.
It did, and then all of that stuff happened. Ah, man.
With the Cardi B beef still fresh, Cardi fans had even more ammo since her debut album reached number 1 just a few months earlier. On top of that, Cardi outsold Nicki. Nicki being number 2 was further proof to her detractors that she is not the dominant force she once was, so she started blaming everyone but herself for the album not reaching number 1. She tweeted, "Spotify put Drake's face on every playlist but told me they'd have to teach me a lesson for playing my music 10 minutes early on Queen Radio. Even though they've been giving away my music for free for years and I'm one of the top Spotify artists of all time."
Womp womp.
Nicki also blamed her label for not standing up for her because they feared Spotify would retaliate and not promote her friend and frequent collaborator Ariana Grande's album Sweetener that released around the same time. Spotify eventually addressed Nicki's claims, denying all allegations of mistreatment. Spotify supported Nicki Minaj with a Times Square billboard, a host of the largest playlists, New Music Friday, and the New Music Release Shelf. A representative for Spotify told Business Insider, her song Bed actually saw an increase based on the promotions put behind the campaign. The company continues to be big fans of Nicki. After Spotify proved her wrong, Nicki could no longer blame them, so she shifted her anger towards Travis himself. "I put my blood, sweat, and tears in writing a dope album only for Travis Scott to have Kylie Jenner post a tour pass telling people to come see her and Stormy. I'm actually laughing." For context, Kylie Jenner...
This was a low blow of mentioning back then Travis Scott's girlfriend, or ex, if you will. Or I'd say mother of his daughter, like, you know what I mean? Like, it's weird, big weird.
Jenner promoted Travis Scott's online store to Instagram with the caption, "Me and Storm ready for tour," to which Nicki claims that Travis sold 50,000 album units because of Kylie's promotion. All purchases of his t-shirts, hoodies, hats, and keychains automatically came with a digital download of Astroworld, which counted as one album sale, even though the buyer is not required to actually download or listen to the album. This has been a common strategy for artists to exploit the Billboard charts for over a decade.
But what we not gonna do is have this auto-tune man coming up here selling fucking sweaters and telling y'all he sold 500,000 fucking albums, because he didn't. And it's a lot of rappers behind the scene that want to talk about it and they're scared. You're a fucking man. You got your fucking homeboy talking for you, and you got your girlfriend posting tour passes saying you sold albums. Stop it.
Firstly, Nicki calling Travis Auto-Tune Man is a non-insult considering her love for the effect. Secondly, her being angry about bundle sales is ironic because she tried to do this exact same strategy. According to an article published by Rolling Stone, on her online store, Nicki had an array of merch and album bundles available. She also provided a concert package to her upcoming joint tour with rapper Future. Each time a fan purchased a concert package, they received free copies of her album, which substantially impacted the sales for Queen. Nicki also tried to boost her numbers after the album's official release by adding her previous release track Fifi to the album, which would count towards the album's total streaming numbers. But none of it worked. Nicki had no one else to blame. She had to just accept that people didn't want her album, her merch, or her tour as much as they wanted Travis's or Cardi B's. As if 2018 couldn't get any crazier for Nicki, the public found out about her boyfriend's dark past, which changed her reputation forever. Nicki began to publicly post about her boyfriend Kenneth Petty after a few months of dating, with sources close to Minaj claiming that they were already considered getting married and having babies. But Nicki's fans weren't so supportive of Kenneth, as he is a convicted sex offender stemming back to the 90s. Kenneth initially pleaded not guilty to all charges. However, during a hearing on April 5th, 1995, Petty withdrew his not guilty plea and instead pleaded guilty to the charge of attempted rape. He was sentenced to 18 to 54 months in prison, but served nearly 4 years before his release in January of 1999. If Kenneth is considered a Tier 2 or Tier 3 sex offender, he must remain on the sex offender registry for at least 20 years, as well as report his current address to the Department of Justice every 6 6 months, which is why in July of 2022, Petty was sentenced in Los Angeles to probation and home detention for failing to register as a sex offender. Kenneth was also ordered to pay a $55,000 fine as a part of his sentence of 3 years probation and 1 year of home detention, according to the U.S. Attorney's Office. But it gets even worse. Since the public became so invested in Nicki's relationship, media outlets began reporting on the 26-year-old trial, which led to Petty's victim, Jennifer Hugh, having to relive this horrific time of her life. She even claimed that the associates of Minaj and Petty spent months in 2020 harassing her and offered her hundreds of thousands of dollars to basically say that the attempted rape never happened.
You can't sit there. No amount of money is going to just erase trauma, and which is why I'm just like, why are you going back? Why are you threatening this woman for something it is that she actually went through? And this is another thing to why I'm like, I'm cool on Nicki, gang. Like he's convicted, a convicted felon. Convicted means it is that he's already gotten sentenced, already went to prison before and everything like that for this shit. You going as far as making threats to our word victim and trying to pay them as if like the shit never happened, that's, I don't like that. I don't like that whatsoever. Cause now you're really trying to manipulate a situation, make it seem like it is like, oh, what she had to go through wasn't really what she had to go through. That's weird. Nah, Megan's Law is crazy. Oh my God. It's a choice to stay with him, and she's okay. She, unfortunately, she is okay with standing by a man it is that, you know, that does that, and it's weird. I find it weird. But
Jennifer alleged that a man named Barry, who was close to her brother, reached out to offer his help. Barry got Jennifer on the phone with Minaj, to which she claims that Minaj tried to help her. Right, she also quoted Nicki saying, "Listen, I just need you to know, woman to woman, this really happened." Jennifer was confused. Why would Nicki Minaj want to help her husband's victim? Well, if Jennifer were to say that the 1995 case was a lie, then Nicki's reputation to the public might be saved. Barry allegedly parked in a car outside her house. Jennifer said he offered her $20,000 in cash if she agreed to sign a letter he'd typed that stated she lied about her assault. Jennifer refused any and all offers of financial compensation to change her story. Jennifer became even more fearful when she received a call from her brother asking if she was okay. He told her that their cousin had called him again, and that this time he sounded terrified, telling them that they knew where she lived. Jennifer moved and changed her phone number as she feared for her safety. She did not know.
I don't like that. You're going as far as doxing a woman because of, man, I do not like that shit. He was in Atlanta actively looking for Offset to unalive him while he was on Kai's stream. And you're right. Kai, like, listen, Offset was confused. You're like, I don't know what the fuck going on. You know what I'm saying? Like, them niggas was no, he wasn't in Atlanta because he's not allowed to travel. He was in New York. He was in New York. Him and some other goofy middle-aged nigga sitting there talking about something. Yeah, come outside. Like, as if like you can't just go to twitch.tv/Kai Cenat and see this nigga is in Atlanta in fucking Kai in Kai's presence. What are we talking about? What are we talking about? Like that shit, like not Kai's response, Offset's response after coming out of that stream with Kai, that 24 hours was comical. Cause like, bro, what? Like, all right, I don't know what the fuck going on. That shit was funny.
Who was looking for her, but she did not want to take any chances. She ended up moving 3 times over the course of a couple years. She believes that she was being intimidated, stalked. Also, she could change her story and clear Petty's name to the public. But she stayed strong and refused to give in. She actually ended up suing the Pettys for $20 million for her claims she endured a relentless campaign of bribery, intimidation, harassment, and stalking. But then Petty accused Hugh of going out of her her way to publicly shame him. Jennifer even went as far as releasing never-before-seen photos from 1994 with bruises on her neck and body after the assault. Jennifer said, "When I was 16, nobody believed me, and now it feels the same. It feels like I'm fighting for my character." Petty and Minaj's legal teams denied all accusations and are more than ready to defend themselves in court. Since Minaj hasn't directly responded to these allegations, it's impossible to say she is guilty of bribery and intimidation. Not responding is probably the smartest thing Nicki has ever done. But even if the truth comes out that she never intimidated this woman, fans still wonder why out of all people Nicki chose to be with, she landed on Kenneth Petty. After all, this wasn't his only crime. Petty was also responsible for the shooting death of Lamont Robinson in 2002. The original charge was murder in the second degree, but following a plea bargain, he pled guilty to manslaughter, to which he was sentenced to 10 years in federal prison for. TV host Jesse Palmer aired a segment on Daily Mail TV regarding Nicki's relationship where he said that Nicki's fans were, quote, worried because this isn't the first time Nicki Minaj has defended a sex offender. He then clarified that Nicki had allegedly been supporting her brother while he was behind bars. Nicki proceeded to have an outburst on Instagram, saying, "You just lied on me on national television and now you're being sued. You better be able to back up what you just said about me with facts." She followed up with another tweet saying that the reporter was going to jail for repeating extremely public information. Nicki would have 100% lost this lawsuit since it was public knowledge that Nicki was supporting her brother during his trial. Because if you don't know, Nicki's husband isn't the only one guilty of sex crimes. Her brother Jelani Mirage was sentenced to 25 years to life in prison for predatory sexual assault against a child. Authorities arrested Jelani in connection with the case in December of 2015 after he was accused of repeatedly R-wording his stepdaughter, beginning when she was just 11 years old. According to Gossip, Jelani was an employee for Nicki at the time. While in custody, he suffered from an unknown medical condition that required him to be arranged at Nassau University Medical Center. According to the New York Post, Nicki Minaj promptly paid her brother's $100,000 bail, using 2 of her houses in Baldwin, Long Island as collateral. According to a source close to Nicki, she was prepared to do anything for her brother. Nicki was willing to give up any asset to ensure she had enough money to protect her brother. A grand jury in New York's Nassau County indicted Jelani Mirage on felony sexual assault against a child in April of 2016. He was also indicted on 2 felony counts of sexual conduct against a child and endangering the welfare of a child. He pled not guilty to the charges, asserting his innocence and denying the charges brought against him. Since he pled not guilty, Jelani sought to have the prosecution prove the case against him beyond a reasonable doubt during the trial in October of 2017. Although Nicki never commented publicly on the charges against Jelani, his attorney, David Schwartz, told media outlets that Nicki may attend part of her brother's trial and supports him 100%. In November of 2017, Nassau County Court found Jelani Mirage guilty of predatory sexual assault. And you might as well just add rapper Tekashi 6ix9ine to the Nicki Minaj sex crime triangle, as her first #1 song came from their collaboration, Trolls. In October of 2015, Daniel Hernandez pled guilty to a felony count of use of a child in a sexual performance. He was charged with 3 counts of the offense after a February 2015 incident in which he had physical contact with a 13-year-old girl and later distributed videos of the incident online as a part of a music video. In the video, the child engages in oral sexual intercourse with the separately charged defendant, Taquan Anderson, while the defendant, Daniel Hernandez, stands behind the child making a thrusting motion with his pelvis and smacking her on the buttocks. The child is nude in the video. In an interview with DJ Academics, 6ix9ine denied knowing the girl was a minor, but Tekashi's legal situation was very much public knowledge before Nicki and 6ix9ine's first collaboration. Most artists in the industry avoided working with Tekashi due to this charge, but Nicki didn't seem to mind. Some people, particularly Nicki Minaj fans, look at her involvement with sexual predators as strictly coincidental. Her brother could have lived a double life.
When I tell you it is that the Barbs is delusional for that. They're heavy level delusion. What do you mean? What do you fucking mean that's coincidence though? What? You are what you attract. That somebody needs a deep dive on Nicki. I'm pretty sure she got agents building a huge case already on her. Hi, Clayne. Hi. I like oh, like what? Y'all heavy delusional making excuses for this woman, bro. heavy delusion.
Probably genuinely thought he was a good, innocent man and was just as shocked as we were when the charges were made. They probably think she financially supported him because she is a good sister. Her husband's case was in 1995 before she ever knew him, and he was 16 years old. Maybe Nicki believes he is a changed man, and their love is so strong she is willing to forgive him. Or maybe she genuinely believes he was falsely accused and vilified his whole life. And
Or why can't we just also admit to the fact it is that she was reaching up to the level of 40 anyway? And most women it is who get up to that level of being in their late 30s and 40s, they get a little desperate when it comes down to dating. Let's, you know, I hate to say this, but it's kind of true. I hate to say this. Some women, when they get to that level, like, listen, let me tell you something. I don't feel that way because I'm already trying to establish a career. I'm in school. I'm trying to fix some things within my life. So I'm not worried about that at 32 years old. But somebody it is who is 35 plus, and they're looking out of the biological clock thing, and oh, well, I'm getting older. It's about time it is I have a baby, and this, blase. Some women go to levels of desperation when it comes down to being chosen. And a lot of times, especially when it is you get up to that age, most men go younger. They go younger women. You know, less. They say it is like less damage, or like, you know, whatever the case may have. You boom. It really. I feel like it is. That's like it goes case by case when it comes down to this. But I want to say it is that she literally was like, all right, I'm getting a little older. You know, I want to have a baby. I want to get married. I want somebody this is about me. And just like, all right, boom. Well, I choose you. You know, they did date in high school, yes. But even still, like, if they dated in high school, you didn't look at his actions a little bit weird, even when it is you was in high school. Like, what are we talking? It's people like this that are lucky that I have no right or desire to run for president of the United States. In Drea's case, oh fuck, I forgot about that Drea's case. We got to talk about that afterwards. Thank you. We're gonna talk about that.
6ix9ine could be chalked up as purely business. 6ix9ine is a rapper, and let's be honest, most rappers aren't exactly the most morally righteous people. But she still has this massive gray cloud of questionable associations that makes it really hard for fans to defend her, especially when she keeps engaging in wars with other female rappers. In addition to Remy and Cardi, Lotto and Megan Thee Stallion broke Nicki down, but we can't even blame them. You will notice that Minaj did this to herself. Nicki and Atlanta-based rapper Lotto got into some beef after Minaj exposed screenshots of their private conversation. It all started when Minaj was mad at the Grammys for nominating her song Super Freaky Girl in the pop category, while Lotto's hit song Big Energy was nominated in the rap category.
Super Freaky Girl, where I only rapped on the song, was removed out of rap categories at the Grammys, right? And put in pop.
Now, Nicki does have a solid point here. The Grammys' categorizations for these songs does seem wrong, and people have suspected that the Grammys have been corrupt for a long time.
I mean, yes, that is true. The Grammys has. But also, there is a vendetta against Nicki Minaj when it comes down to the Grammys because of that performance she did back in 2012 when the late Miss Whitney Houston had passed. And it was, even though she did do heavy promotions for that Grammys that year and everything like that, they came up to her at last minute. It was just like, hey, listen, we don't want you to perform this. We don't want you to perform this right now because of the tribute for Miss Whitney Houston. This is going to be a little bit tone deaf if you go ahead and do it. And Nicki Minaj was just like, no, I did all these promotions and everything like that for it, rehearsals and planning for this. I'm going to go perform. And that performance changed, like, that leader, I don't know his name, that is in charge of the Grammys. And Mr. Clive Davis is also another part of that as well. Clive Davis is one who discovered Whitney Houston and put her up there as it is anyway. So there is a lot of vendetta that was against her ever since then. So what is the proper definition of tone deaf? I would say it's not reading the room. It's another word for not reading the room. I'm gonna put it that way, short and sweet. Because tone deaf is like it could be being tone deaf could be used in different things. But let's say, for example, if like a serious situation just happened and people make a joke and everybody's like, why would you say that at a time like this? That's tone deaf, you know? Or it's somebody, I'll even go as far as this. With all the boycotts that's going on with, with Starbucks, because of, what's going on in Palestine as of right now. And let's say it is like, oh, you decided it's like, oh, well, I don't really get into politics. I don't get into politics too much. I'm going to go to Starbucks and everything like that. That's tone deaf. That's also tone deaf. So hopefully it is that I answered that correctly. So they be putting Nicki against Taylor and shit. Yeah, they do. I will say the categories for the Grammy is a little bit weird, but this is why ever since that situation within the Grammys, they would have not been fucking with Nicki Minaj. I mean, they played in her face with this past one as well, which I will say was kind of fucked up. They had announced, and they even put it onto the website, the Grammy website. It is that her and Ice Spice won Barbie World for that nomination, and then they took it back and said like, oh, sorry, we made a mistake. I will say it is y'all played in that woman's face.
Lotto responded with a subtweet saying, "Damn, I can't win for losing. All these awards, nominations, I can't even celebrate." According to Lotto, she attempted to reach out to Nicki and privately address the situation, but Nicki went to Twitter instead. "This Karen has probably mentioned my name in over 100 interviews." She said she waited in line for Pink Friday with her Barbie chain on, bangs, pink hair, but today, Scratch Off decides to be silent. Rather than speak up for the black woman she called her biggest inspiration. The two then continued their back and forth on Twitter. Lotto said, "Super freaky grandma is married and related to effing rapists. You ain't gonna bully me, bitch. My idol turned rival, now you hating."
I will say this, when it comes down to, it's like that saying when you finally meet your idols and you get disappointed. I feel like that may have been the case for Lotto. Because like I have a couple of friends back at home that are diehard Barbs, and we've went to 106 in Park and seen her perform and everything like that. Don't get me wrong, I've watched Nicki Minaj from back in her underground mixtape days up to who it is she is now. It's disappointing to watch that. So my level, I won't say it isn't I'm a Barb. There are some songs that I like from Nicki Minaj, but at this rate now, because of the things it is that she do and the things that she say, like Lotto is or mulatto beforehand. Mulatto is a term that was used in Haiti that was mostly known for people who are mixed race. Mixed race is often, no matter if you're non-black, that if you're non-white, most people consider you to be black. In this case, this is where the name mulatto comes from. So the fact that Nicki is calling her a Karen and then calling her a scratch off, that's fucked up. I don't like that. I don't like the fact that it's you bullying and within this. Like, I don't like that.
As you can see, anytime Nicki gets into a beef, the main attack is her association with her brother and husband. Nicki responded by pointing out Lotto's hypocrisy. Didn't care about when she was begging for features. Didn't care about Kodak's past. Didn't care about the accusations made about Dr. Luke, who produced Big Energy. Newsflash, Scratch Off. I've never raped anyone. I've inspired millions. You're one of them, bozo. To be clear, Lotto never accused Nicki of R-wording anyone. She said married and related. The public took Lotto's side and looked at Nicki as a bitter old bully mad at the young rising star who won the BET Award for Best Female Hip Hop Artist over Nicki. But Nicki's beef with Lotto is minor compared to how she embarrassed herself trying to attack Megan Thee Stallion.
Yeah.
Megan was the one female rapper that Nicki didn't immediately make enemies with. After connecting on Instagram Live, the two collaborated on Megan's single, Hot Girl Summer in 2019, which became a huge hit. They even shot a music video together and seemed to be on friendly terms for the short years that followed. But in 2021, Minaj unfollowed Megan on Instagram, sparking rumors that their friendship was heading south. On an episode of her Queen radio show the following year, Minaj recalled an encounter between them that shifted the status of their friendship. Nicki said, "Imagine telling someone you didn't want to drink because you were, at the time, possibly pregnant, because you were actively trying to have a baby." In typical Nicki fashion, she doesn't mention anyone's.
Imagine actively trying to have a baby with a sex offender. Go on about your business.
Name, but fans suspected it was about Megan. A fan tweeted at Megan, "Nicki Minaj is accusing you of encouraging abortion and child endangerment with alcohol. This isn't something to stay quiet on." And Megan said, "Lie." Months later, Minaj took subtle digs at Meg on the track Red Ruby to Sleaze, rapping 700 on them horses when we fixing to leave, but I don't fuck with horses since Christopher Reeves. If you don't know, Stallion is a horse. Megan ignored her shots for years until her 2024 song, Hiss, which is an all-encompassing diss track where she takes shots at multiple people in the industry, including Minaj by way of her husband's status as a registered sex offender. Megan raps, "These hoes don't be mad at Megan. These hoes mad at Megan's law." Megan's Law is the name for a federal law in the United States requiring law enforcement authorities to make information available to the public regarding registered sex offenders. This one lyric sent Nicki into one of the worst meltdowns we've seen on social media by a celebrity.
I don't care. Bitch. I dare you. I fucking dare you, bitch, to say one more thing about my fucking family, ho. Bullet fragment foot, bitch. Bullet fragment, bitch. She a bullet fragment, bitch. Now listen here, ho. Get up on your good foot. Bitch, I said get up on your good foot, not your bad foot. Fuck was that, a diss or piss? Said it was hiss, I said piss. My fans called it piss.
Nicki is maniacally mocking the incident where Megan was shot in the foot by Tory Lanez. She then goes on to refer to her husband's rape as 30-year-old T.
Y'all mad because y'all don't have somebody that loves you and stand 10 toes down behind you, so you bringing up 30-year-old T for when this child.
So let me get this straight. You're sitting there saying it is that, oh, because it is that you don't have a man it is that loves you and holds you down and stuff like that. Yeah, because getting a fucking felon it is that is a registered sex offender because it is he wanted to somebody. That just makes everything fucking better. Yeah? Fucking yeah. Yeah? Yeah, girl, you're foolish. You're foolish. You make no sense. This is what I'm talking about. And then the barbs try to justify this shit. It was like, oh yeah, it's 30-year-old T. No! As if like this bitch wasn't sitting there trying to manipulate that girl into lying. Saying it isn't the whole thing was like made up and stuff like that. No! Y'all done doxed this girl. She had to move 3 times. Y'all try to bribe her with money, threaten her to unalive her and everything like that. Fuck off. Fuck off, bro. Fuck off. If y'all wanted to know a reason why it is I don't like Nicki Minaj, you just found it. You found another one. You found another one, goddammit. What? And the fact that is that, like I said, you're making fun of somebody that got shot and then bringing up their deceased parent. Now, I am mad because it's like, girl, you're fucking 44, 45 years old. Girl, go do something with your life, please.
When this man was a 15-year-old person, child. You bringing up 30-year-old T because no man has ever and will ever fucking love you. And lying on your dead mother, on your dead mama. Not on your dead, you done lied on a dead mama. Lied on a dead mama, lied on a dead mama. Lied on your, I said lied on her. Hey, sexy red, she done lied. She lied and she cried and she lied and she cried. She said she lied and she cried and she lied and she cried. And then she lied and she cried and she lied and she cried.
Look at this man, Josh, bro. Look at this man, Josh, in the comments, bro.
Cause she got blogs all up her stupid, doofy self-ass. Every press I said no well, I don't give up.
And these are the breaks. And I go ahead and rap like this cause I come from the 80s shit. Like, what, girl? Girl.
Nicki, aged 41 years old, repeatedly mocks Megan's mother who died of brain cancer, while claiming that this is her alter ego, Roman, speaking.
Every one of y'all, bloggers, YouTubers, all of y'all, let me tell y'all something. What my pen don't catch, the universe will. Ask about my prophecies.
She didn't drag Megan, she embarrassed herself. This is literally the same feeling as when you have to sit next to a crackhead on a bus. This is what narcissistic rage looks like.
Oh, you snuck that comment in there. You snuck that comment in there. Golly, you're not wrong though. You're, you're not wrong.
When you have to sit next to a crackhead on a bus. This is what
Oh my
narcissistic
gosh.
rage looks like. Nicki then took to Twitter to continue expressing her rage. Megan's Law, for a free beat you could hit Megan raw. Minaj also did what she does best and bragged about her success, listing several accolades while comparing their respective careers. She even accused Megan of winning fraudulent awards, seemingly referring to her 3 Grammys, of which Minaj has none, and repeatedly described her as a flop who uses ghostwriters. In the midst of the outburst, TMZ reported that several barbs leaked the location of the burial site of Megan's mother on social media. As a result,
Honestly, y'all not shit for doing that. Y'all not shit for that. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. The only death that it is that has took a toll for me is my grandfather's. When I say it is, when I tell y'all this all the time. When you put people in situations where they gotta protect, that's something that you do not want to try. This is back in the beginning of this video where I said it is that like shit like this is the reason why it is motherfuckers will pull up and wanted to go ahead and do some heavily heinous acts it is that they're not proud of. Do not play around when it comes down to stuff like that. Like and even from myself, if you put me in a situation where it is I had to go into that type of mode, then I'm full-fledged going to say that you deserve it. Because leaking or doxing somebody's parent gravesite, I appreciate Megan and her team for keeping her grounded, because Lord knows I would have pulled up. Lord knows I would have pulled up on something crazy if it is you played around with something like that. Like, yeah, bet. Watch what I do.
the cemetery notified local authorities and increased
I wouldn't even tell y'all about it. I would have been just like, hey, listen, y'all, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna end out the stream. Y'all have a great night. Appreciate y'all. Catch y'all in the next one. And I would have had to do what it is I had to do.
the number of security personnel at their facility. She spent days berating Megan on social media, during which she repeatedly mentioned her mother. Nicki also liked hundreds of tweets from fans talking negatively about Megan, many of which mocked her for the shooting. Nicki ultimately released a diss track titled Bigfoot, where she taunts Megan over her deceased mother, her appearance, and her sexual history, including her relationship with ex-boyfriend Partisan Fontaine. And the last 2 minutes of this song is a creepy monologue that sounds like a mental breakdown.
Ho, the things that you lied about, even pertaining to your mom, you don't want them out, okay?
Megan laughing herself to sleep with this. The producers really saw her having a manic episode and hit record. Nicki, girl, they only asked you to stop covering up predators. Megan has yet to respond to Nicki's diss track. She seems to be unbothered while she continues to promote Hiss.
W,
Hiss was
Megan.
met with widespread critical acclaim and debuted at #1 on the Billboard Hot 100, making it her 3rd #1 single as an artist. Due to the negative attention placed on Nicki following her heated rivalry with Megan, fans began digging into her past and found a questionable old song. The 2009 Lil Twist track, Old Enough, featuring Nicki Minaj, was released when Lil Twist was 16 years old. Nicki raps, "You might can get it, you might can hit it, but I gotta run. I know you young, but you know I like that young money. See?"
Hello? Oh, I didn't know this one. I didn't know this. I knew of Little Twist, but I never knew of the song. I was today years old finding this out. Nicki is indeed a predator. Yep.
Little boy, I can be your little teacher, and if you ball, then meet me behind the bleachers. You gotta come hard trying to reach her, cause if we hit it, I might charge you for the feature.
Yo, coach! Thank you for the 22 months, gang, eh? Ah, that's oh wow. I don't, boy. I never even knew this record, and I'm at a loss. Wow, I'm at a loss for words. Wow.
While someone can argue that it's just music, a creative outlet to
Bullshit.
innocently roleplay various situations, it's just
Bullshit.
another bullet point on the long list of Nicki's associations with sex crimes. And again, there is no debating that Nicki Minaj fundamentally changed the landscape for female rappers forever. She is a hip-hop legend, but all of this has put a damaging stain on her reputation, and I'm not really sure how she can get back in the good graces of fans.
You know, how could you possibly be a fan after listening to all this? I would have burned all the merch. You know? But Patrick CC, thank you so much for another banger. You know what I'm saying? Shout outs to you. Shout outs to y'all in the chat. And shout outs to you at home. I'm curious to see what you're going to say in the comments. Shout outs to y'all. I'll catch y'all in the next video.